What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, you can see here that SPS is creeping up very close to the 2-cent range, and this is the most positive price action that we have seen for SPS in a couple of months. Now, the reason this is exciting for me is because if you've been watching the channel, I've been pushing for direct SPS utility, and that is exactly what SPS staking has done. We're seeing people with a need for SPS. You need it. Therefore, you either need to go out and buy it, or at the very least, if you're earning it already, stop selling it. And so in a way, we've started to see at least a little bit of less sale pressure and, of course, more buying pressure, which has pushed the price up from, I think the recent low was like 1.5 cents up to 1.9. So we're up, almost 33%, which is kind of crazy, right? The last time that we had direct utility for SPS, I would say arguably was when Ruse came out in Q1, right? So end of Q1, when we had the SPS proposal for that, and then the implementation, I believe it was in March, and we saw SPS go from 2.5 cents to about 3 cents, maybe a little bit over 3 cents, which at the time was about a 20% increase. So the increase is more now, but obviously the lower the price is, the easier, the less money it takes for there to be a percentage gain. So either way, if you bought in at 1.5 cents, good for you. Again, this is not financial. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to go out and buy SPS, but what I am saying is that you can see that the two most recent examples we've had for giving some kind of direct utility to SPS have given it a price boost. Now, what's exciting for this compared to Ruse is that Ruse was essentially a 4-week pump and dump, right? And I say 4 weeks because it takes you 4 weeks to unstake your SPS. Everybody staked as much as they could for whenever the snapshot was going to be. We were given a heads up on that. And as soon as that was done, I'm sure people started on staking and then selling afterwards. And then we went even lower than the previous all-time low to set new all-time lows over the past 3 months in Q2. So we are finally on the uptrend again. And what excites me about this, as opposed to Ruse, is that this is ongoing direct utility. For every new player that joins the game, or every player that's currently in the game that wants to level up, they will need to go and buy SPS and then not sell it at some point in the future. They will need to go earn more and more and more. And what this could lead to, and I've talked about it before, what this could lead to is the life spiral. And before people get excited, I'm not saying SPS is going to go to the moon. Again, not financial advice. But the life spiral is one of those, like, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Because now people are at a point where whether you're a new player or you've been playing the game for the last couple of years like myself, you look at SPS and you're just like, okay, well, I need more to earn more. And SPS is going up. So therefore, the rewards that I'm getting are worth more. So whether you are either trying to get more SPS or you're trying to just keep what you have and not sell as much of the earnings that you get in order to level up, it's going to be a situation where we're moving forward and can almost, push the price up just through belief itself. Now, we're not in a bull market, so usually that, crazy market runs only happen whenever we're in a bull run, and there's a lot of dumb money coming into the space, as I like to call it. But what I would love to see from this is, as SPS starts to hit more and a greater green candle, right? Or green candles over time, maybe a larger green candle across like a weekly or a monthly, that is going to be something that is noticed by the rest of the crypto, by the rest of the Web3 or NFT gaming community. And so if people start to check out the game because of that, they'll see that things are on the upswing. That'll be the best marketing tool. And then if they come in, even just playing at the lower levels, people are going to have to come in and buy 500 or 1,000 SPS, which right now at the lower levels is not, too much for 2 cents. And again, I'm not trying to assume anybody's situation, but my point being is that with the rental availability, with SPS being low, what a lot of people will do is say, wait, this thing is down 98% from its all-time high. I can buy into the game right now, earn more, and therefore, and still have the upside potential by holding the SPS that I have. Not only that, I'm earning an SPS, which I expect to go up over time, because as more and more people come in, there will be more and more demand for it with a restricted supply. Now, I still think that we're oversupplied with SPS, and we're still minting about 1 million per day, which is a lot. But ultimately, there's a lot of other catalysts coming into play. I don't know what tower defense does, but it sounds like that's in the final stretch and could lead to a whole different subset of people coming in to explore the ecosystem if the marketing is done right, or even just the marketing from us is done right, right? I'm planning to tell folks about tower defense, or people within my network about tower defense that aren't necessarily into trading card games, but can do something more arcade style. And then, of course, land. Now, here's the main point that I want to point out. All right, I'm saying point too much. Here's the main thing that I wanted to say, and I'll wrap it up with this. What you can see is that we don't need the flywheel in order for SPS to actually start increasing in value. This is why I've been such a champion for direct SPS utility all along. Now, that is not to say that the flywheel is not valuable. I think the flywheel could definitely help us. But what the flywheel does, I don't want to say is pump and dump, but it is very demand based, meaning that let's say something comes in, let's say land comes in, right? 1.5. A bunch of people are going to be burning a ton of SPS. They'll need to buy the SPS in order to mint the DEC, because eventually we'll run out if land does get utilized to a certain point. And then they stop, right? Because once there's enough DEC in the ecosystem, we'll see a stop. But having direct SPS utility, something like the SPS staking, which again was in the white paper since its inception 2 years ago, that is exactly what we need. And part of me looks at this and is just like, man, I don't know why they didn't focus on doing this earlier. But I'm glad that it's here now. 2 years late, it's better late than never. And I think that the implementation, while I know many people are not necessarily going to agree with this, the implementation was done, right? Was it done great? No, maybe not. I'm sure people have issues with it, but it's done now, and we can start to move forward. And therefore, at the end of the day, in order to earn more from this, you have to invest more. And a lot of people are not fans of that because they're used to getting things for much cheaper, or basically not investing anything and getting a lot of money for free. That's just not how investments work. If anything, we're moving into not a much more sustainable, but really a much more traditional investment model within the game. And again, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to invest into the game. I'm just saying, how does investing work? Usually, the more you invest in a company, the greater your returns. That traditionally has not been the case with Splinterlands, where you didn't need to invest a lot and you could still get massive returns out. Well, now you need to increase your investment across different asset classes. SPS being the newest one, cards, and then, I guess it's really just those two. Land, if you want to get into land, right? But ultimately, the more that you're invested, the higher your returns are. So in a way, one perspective to look at this, and this is not going to be popular for a lot of folks, I know, but one perspective to look at it is the economy is finally right. The economy is finally somewhat fixed in a sense, because at the end of the day, the people who have invested the most should be getting the most returns out of it. It shouldn't be low-level farming of accounts. And that is going to be the case across the board. I always liken this to buying Apple stock. Who should get the most dividends every quarter when Apple pays dividends? Should it be the person who owns the most Apple stock, or should it be all the different people who own one share each getting a bunch? Right? That would be farming. That would be leeching. And it just wouldn't, the incentive wouldn't be there. So at this point, now, the more you're invested into the ecosystem, both with SPS from a governance token, as well as just the staking token for the game, but also your cards, right? So you'll need to have at least a certain degree or certain level of cards to be competitive. And then the last part, your skill level, right? Or your bot, whichever one you want. And hopefully that last one can be fixed with creating a pro-human league in Modern. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. I'm really excited to see the positive movement within SPS. Where it goes from here, I have no idea. Is it going to go up forever? That's not what I'm saying. All I am saying is that I'm really, really happy to see direct SPS utility. And now, for the second time this year, we've had a back-to-back example. Well, not really back-to-back, but consecutive examples of direct SPS utility coming into play and people buying and the price going up. So that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.